Well, thanks for getting back. Yeah, there. Didn't have any work session, we just had our regular meeting. 7th, anything, we got, the next meeting's the 30th. Yes. Anything new, Doug or Jerry, that are, other than what's been on the agenda that we're looking at? Any work sessions?
We haven't scheduled any, but there will be.
Okay,
I sent the board an updated progress report, so you look at that, you can see what's coming up.
okay.
It's gonna take a lot.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's like. See you. I have a motion to approve the minutes. First, Doug, and second by Nathan. All in favor? Welcome. Okay. Crown next. Yeah, we are just calling for the public hearing, so.
Okay, yeah.
You'll move for a public hearing? I'll second it.
At 7:05.
7:05, next, the 30th? Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
No, I get them on first, and there's a couple things we got out of the way. Yeah, that's the last, I think that's just the more procedural. No issues that you're aware of?
No, I think that Mark Parrish may have sent some last comments. Am I
Yeah,
right on it?
I didn't see that he was significant or so.
Okay.
No, did you didn't have any either?
Did you receive the last comments from Mark Parrish? Our engineer?
I did not receive those.
Okay, so we'll check with him. Make sure that they're,
Did you tell?
so hopefully if everything goes well. We'll talk about an approval.
Yeah, I think so, if the, again, I'm not. Losing track, I don't know how to set the track, but, if there's. Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
the only thing Mark said was, when we were talking last time, there was confusion of the subdivision, and all Mark says is the subdivision results in the creation of a different lot, so.
Right, so, okay, that's what I understand. So that's just, it's a requirement.
Okay.
But we should be good.
Yeah,
Go.
it should be all set.
Okay,
So that was a Nate in a second, but I,
me.
okay, thanks.
Did we actually vote?
Did we vote? No.
Okay. All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, thank you.
I may add one last thing. We did receive a revised subdivision map this week, based on the planning board's comments at the last meeting, so. I only just said that today electronically, but revised for whereas.
Quality lines?
Yeah, I'm here for it, Peter.
Okay,
Yeah, last month, Christian presented the project. Quality Lines is an electrical subcontractor. National Grid subcontracts electrical repair work to them. They want to build a 60 or not build, they want to rent a facility at the end of Fisher Road for the storage of 60 units or 60 trucks. All they're looking to do is put a 6-foot height fence along the north and west property lines, and then in between the gates on the west property line, they like to infill with evergreen shrubs.
but, does anybody else want to see it?
I don't, we can certainly pull it up and read it, but question, clarification. Just whether it was sliding gate was.
Okay.
It's a cantilever slide gate.
Hear that?
Yeah, so it doesn't have all the overhead support structure. I mean, it's truly a cantilevered slide gate.
Correct.
And it's 6 foot with no barbed wire, right? And
No barbed wire. No.
6, I thought it was someone said say 8 before.
yeah, that's right.
Question.
Right.
So,
Okay.
It is 6 foot.
It's 6 foot high. It's 20, at least 20 feet wide.
Well, yeah, the rest of the fence, the chain link fence is all 6 foot.
It's all 6 foot, all of it is 6 foot, correct?
Yeah, because when somebody said 8, that just surprised me, All right, that sounds, any other questions? That's it, I'll make a motion to move it. Second, Nathan, all in favor? Unanimous, thanks, Ed.
Right, yeah, thank you.
All right, this was Joey's.
We didn't need
Oh.
a resolution. And also, what's the last date of the plan?
I have no idea.
Not you, but that one too. Doug, you have the last date of the plan? Like, good.
I'm just gonna, excuse me, I've got a little housekeeping business. I'm so excited about seeing Joey's finish line. Motion to approve the plan dated this week. Well, the following findings and conditions, plan is for the installation of a security fence and gate on existing approved site. Two conditions, approval of the lead wire or barbed wire is permitted at the top of the fencing approved herein. Approval is made with the further condition that the approval is for submitted documents. Well, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant, and requires that all the work shall be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or compliance be issued. Any proposed changes, the work materials for the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the town of code section 192-122. I'm gonna, Nathan, we'll do the same vote, but it's still okay, everybody? Okay.
October 12th, 2023. is the date.
Okay, I just texted it to verify that.
Oh. Okay, did you get that?
Can you write down? You've got the name.
Say it again. 12/20,
October.
October 12th, 2020. Okay, Joyce.
Good evening. My name is Mark Weiss. I'm with Envy Weiss and Associates, and with me is the architect, William Walton. Tonight, we're seeking approval from this board, for the new restaurant of Joey's. As you're aware, you probably, we've been here several times already. I think we've pretty much hashed out everything, with maybe the exception of some of the building elements. This board now, this probably is for the first time publicly, a full site package. And I believe we're all complete with that. We've talked to Mark Parrish and we've made all the stormwater obligations.
Yeah, no,
We've gotten the coordination with the thruway, we've gotten coordination
We're good.
with all the agencies that we were asked to get coordinated with, and we got approved with everything.
I think there was something to do with the freezer and the treatment.
So with that, William will have some samples, and just for the record, this panel is the same panel that we used on the dumpster enclosure, where everything's kind of cohesive and everything, so everything looked as a unit, very unified. So with that, I'm gonna give it over to William.
Other things that's not, these are samples of the materials, but not the color. The colors for the sliding, and the exterior of the refrigeration and the trash and the kitchen is this color.
Darker gray.
This is dark. Yep. The other wall color, were these. This is the siding, synthetic wood siding, and that's the stone base. Over the wall colors. Windows, marble windows, black trim. And then the roof panels are the copper brown is the upper roof, and the lower roofs are this sandstone. That's the roof. And the metal roof, you see in the elevations. Bring up the. So I'm just gonna go through, what changes we've made since the last time we were in front of the board, addressing some of the questions and items that were raised. A couple things. One is this, what's considered the, family dining space, which is a separate sort of dining room. This got moved back. Originally, it was about up in here. So part of this kitchen wall was seen from the street. So now this part, which has got the wood siding, basically covers that whole side of the wall. The only piece you see from the street is the kitchen freezer box, which is beyond the kitchen, and it's much further back from the road. The other thing that got changed is, well, the kitchen went through modifications in general because of the kitchen layout, so it actually changed its proportions a little bit. It got longer and narrower, so it actually came out further in the plan this way than it did before, which actually helped on this side of the building with some of the changes in the wall elevations. The other thing that was done was the roof line that starts this circular element basically came around and it stopped here and stepped in. Now you'll see in the elevations that curved line comes all the way around, terminates at the entry element, and then it also continues around to here where it picks up on this axis to be straight with the rest of the box, because it can't continue around any further without cutting into the footprint of the plan. I eliminated, when that happened, eliminated the trellis or the outdoor pergola that was at the entryway here. That got eliminated. So this is basically a roof overhang that covers over this outdoor waiting area. Let's see. In doing that roof change, elevations now. Making the change to the roof lines, it basically raised the roof, raised this roof elevation higher, which pushed this up. This had to come up a little bit higher, and then I also raised this higher because I enlarged the windows here, and I increased the overhang on the inner inner space of that dining room space. So the whole building raised, I don't think so, 3 feet elevation, but we're still below what our limitations were. The other things that were done was we added the mechanical equipment, which are on the roof. There are so there's 2 rooftop units. This is our preliminary proposal right now for mechanicals. There's 2 rooftop units on the roof here that feed the dining room space. There's the main kitchen exhaust for the kitchen equipment cook line. There's an exhaust here for the dishwasher, and there's an exhaust back here for the braising cooking section, which also has its own separate exhaust. So those roof pieces are the elements that are on the roof. Those are pretty well screened. Go back to this elevation sheet here. You can't see them up. You can't see any of the equipment that's on the main roof from the west side or from the street or from the south. Really, the only place you do see it is from the east.
Let it be known that the east is the tractor trailer parking area for the throughway.
Yes.
Vehicle.
Yeah, it's like 500 feet from where the building is, so it's quite a distance away. So that's the east and the north view. If you see it from the parking lot side, from Joey's parking lot side, you can, but you're gonna be.
So this is the parking lot over here. So. And then this side over here is where Red Roof Inn would be. This for orientation. So that, again, you're looking at this from the driveway going to the throughway tractor trailer parking area, as well as Red Roof Inn.
Right, but the road, I think the road, left hand, the top elevation, left hand side.
You're talking about Thompson Road?
Right.
Thompson Road is
No, Thompson.
it parallels here on the other side of that.
here's Thompson
This is
Road.
Thompson Road.
That's Thompson.
That's what you're looking at, Thompson
Right.
Road.
But I know, that's from Thompson Road there, but if you're coming up Thompson Road, approaching it, right? You're looking at that elevation there.
Are you driving south on Thompson Road?
North, that's you're going north.
That's what you're saying, so.
Yeah, if you're going north, this is what you see right here. Traveling south, you would see the backside.
And we have a lot of plantings, large trees along that whole line too.
The other thing that, well, I just want to go over the signage, those are the changes we made. We had the signage on the buildings the last few times, but I wanted to point out on the building signage, we're proposing to do 2 signs up on the top portion of the building here, basically oriented west and probably south. Those signs, the signage calculation is 10% of the building facade. So we're at 104 square feet of signage. Those signs on the building are 10 square feet each. So I know, but I want to start the building.
Yeah, we'll work, that'll, you'll
Yeah, I
get
think
variance in a
there's
second, so I think we won't
Okay.
approve the signs tonight.
I just want to point out that that's what we got shown.
Okay.
All right, so with that, this one.
The only other, and Doug had mentioned, I guess, are we all set with the freezer?
Yeah, so that panel, that gray colored panel that we had described. That's the profile, and then the color is the other sample.
This is the color, this is the profile. Yes,
And that's also a very prominent component on the back and side of the building. And I look at your previous elevation, if you go to one page earlier.
yeah, it's the back of the kitchen. It's this back kitchen wall.
Yeah.
And it's also the freezer box. We're able to get the freezer box prefabricated with the same material that we're using on the building.
For such a prominent feature, to me, it just sticks out. The material, the color and the materiality just sticks out. So at the very least, it's gotta be a different color. It's gotta homogenize more with some of the other earth tones you have in the building. That's what I would be looking for. It really is a huge contrast.
Well, it's a totally different material. No.
I mean,
Can you match the color?
it's a freezer building. We're just plopping on the back of the building. So at the very least, can we make it look uniform with the rest of the building? And color.
Really, in color, we were pointing out before, that bottom elevation is what you're seeing coming.
So, so basically, this element here, which is the whole north facade.
Yeah.
Is the same as that part,
Mhm.
right? And you want that more of an earth tone?
I guess what I'm asking is
Something more like a wood side.
either the wood siding, or I would carry some of the earth tone of the stone
color.
to bring it through, but it reads like a freezer. It really is plopped on the side of this building. That's how it reads, right?
Some color.
It's kitchen and freezer, yes.
Well, could you match the stone, that color of the stone?
Yeah, in this here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could go towards more, this panel, this color here, that was. Is really the one to have, which is our roof.
You're less
I think it's-
conspicuous.
Exactly, that's exactly where I'm going.
Yes, as you're driving by, you just see a tone that
Right.
blends to the front, not a,
Same material, but different color.
yeah,
Correct.
I don't wanna change my dumpster detail.
they might put stone on everything.
Oh, okay,
So there was that, but I do think that the rooftop mechanical equipment is not adequately screened as it's currently designed. That doesn't meet our precedent here in town.
So in preparation for that comment.
well, now you tell us. Sandbag.
Because I think this is a little bit overkill and a little bit, because we're really screening from the property itself, but there's the option with the screens. They're bigger units, they're a little bit higher than the units themselves in order to screen them, and they're only really screening the mechanical units because I can't screen exhaust air and the mechanical units in the same thing. So I would have to have multiple screens In order to.
You know, if you match the color with those, it's better than looking at the boxes.
What about a parapet wall?
That would be pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that works for what the location. I just matched the color with the,
So what do you see that's not screened?
the two vents, the fans.
There's an exhaust fan, there's one.
I would tie the screen together.
I can't put them in the same, they're exhaust. Can't mix them with the air intake.
No,
I can screen them
not
with
the,
the screen, but they're
not
gonna be
the, not the
separate
vent.
boxes.
Or can you just draw that fence, the screen all the way across, make it one piece? Or is it exhaust fan?
That's what I'm saying, I can't put them within the same screen.
Not the exhaust fan, the one, the
Just
two
the
screens.
air.
Oh, you're talking about make this
Yes.
one,
Yeah.
instead of making these two, just
Yeah, one.
bridge that across?
Yeah.
Snow loads.
Let's see. Reason why. Yeah, no, I can't put them in the same. You know, I just have space in between.
So one other thing, isn't it true that you're required to have railing or fall protection if there's equipment that close to the edge? By code,
I'm not close enough to the edge to make that.
10 feet is your fan units,
Exhaust fan.
exhaust fans, and I only
Oh,
bring that
those
up.
don't require it. No.
Yes, they do, actually, by code they do, and I only bring it up because we're not talking about building code, but if it means you've got to put a guardrail there, it's not being shown
I don't believe that's a requirement for this building.
by code.
Why don't we just put in the
Any
resolution?
piece of equipment that's serviceable equipment, 10 feet from a roof edge is required to have fall protection.
But wouldn't the screening act as that?
No,
It doesn't.
we're not proposing screening for the, that,
Oh,
it was just the one screen, we took the,
I believe there's a height limitation on that fall protection.
well, we could just put in,
Under 1 story, I don't believe you have to have a screen. or
for
rail.
me, anything over 6 feet, we bulkhead.
Correct.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Right. You can't stand on anything above 6 feet now. Unless it's a ladder.
well, let's say the code. You got this.
Subject to code requirements.
And again, this is just in the context of what, it would be a shame if we go through this process and then it's gotta be installed. We got a railing there.
Yeah.
And now we're back to where we started, I'm just bringing it up now.
That also asks the question, like, in terms of roof access, I know it's one story. Has the intent that you're accessing the roof with a ladder that we don't have a fixed.
Right.
Roof access on the side of the building anywhere.
Yeah, after the fact. Any other, I mean, I think we're not trying to nitpick, I just think you've come a real long way.
Alright, so we're gonna screen in one screen?
Yes.
two at once, yeah.
Yes. Those two, the two HVAC units are screened by one screen,
It looks like something.
that would be the same, match the same color of the
What is that?
side. Anything else?
So just out of curiosity, where are the intakes on this?
Is it canopy units?
Oh, the HVAC, where
What was the
where's
other?
the intake going?
Oh,
On the inside?
To the-
On the left?
To the,
Yeah. Yep, left and right, intake and exhaust in the middle,
Freezer panel.
the rear.
panels, yeah.
Code testament.
Could be the other way around, could be the intake is in the middle and the exhaust is on the outside. Cause I know I can't pull from where that exhaust is from the.
You must have rotate one, there must be two. Well, they could be on the left and that, so the left one is fine and the left, the other left.
Anything else?
Question, are you happy with that color, or do you want to call out a color, or do you want to see it come in later on the freezer?
No, I think he gave us a panel, but
Is
whatever.
that the exact?
So the kitchen wall, freezer wall, mechanical units and dumpster.
Anything else, Joe, do you have it?
Yes, oh, yes, yep.
Bill's gonna get us all, so we all.
Did you get a copy of the resolution or did you? Sorry.
The only thing we can talk about is the sunset clause.
Yeah, I got it in here. In 6 months,
What's that?
the other building.
I'm not sure, it's probably gonna be a 9-month project, and so once the other building is completely up and operational, the other building will come down. So,
Okay.
so, I mean, we're anticipating construction April.
Yeah, we're just,
Right.
we're not gonna, we're just queuing it to the completion.
So it's gonna be, let's say it's at the end of the year, it'll probably be finished, Joey's.
Now then you have
And
6
then,
months on that.
and then we tear the other one down.
You have 6 months.
We have 6 months. If we
And-
need
and-
to.
Once you're.
Yeah, it's not gonna do us any good having it there. So we're gonna get,
Is issued for that building, that starts the clock, second, the other one has to be paid down. So.
Or is it?
6 months. Well, if it's gonna take us 9 months to build the building.
Oh, right, TCO. Yeah, TCO would be,
I'd imagine
you're gonna take down. You're gonna need the parking. Beautiful building. All right, that's it. Anything, nothing else? Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to approve. What's the last plan dated? You have the last date.
These were, see that,
I don't know what mine is.
10:30.
10:30, that's what our plans are. I think it's today's date possibly. I think it's today's date.
Okay, so the architectural plan last dated
10:30.
10:30. And the site plan last dated 11.
Dated those plans.
10:30.
10/30/2023 architectural, and the site plans are last dated 11.
I think they're 11/3.
We can confirm that, Mark, but
Yeah.
okay, keep going.
You sound like me.
Yeah.
Scary.
Oh, there it is.
But I guess it's taken a year to put them on. They're doing-
Sorry, one of these. Where are we?
And college
10-2.
as a record.
See it right here. Let's try these.
We'll approve it with those conditions tonight.
10-2.
9/20.
Today's date. Yeah, it's today.
11/9.
Never mind.
The site, good work. Okay, number one, this site plan involves the building of a new building on the site to house a restaurant, which will be constructed. The current rate is in operation. The applicant has worked with the planning board over several meetings and work sessions to present a plan that works for this site. The heavily traveled area circle, which is compatible with the area, and architectural workable site layout and traffic circulation. Two, board is satisfied that the parking access agreements in place provide parking on the adjoining parcel. Continuation of the access agreement is a condition of this approval. You have that. You have that? Okay. The board has reviewed the Onondaga County Planning Board referral February 1st, 2023, which found no significant adverse community or countywide implications. For the existing building must be demolished within 6 months of the completion of construction and the issuance of a temporary C of O. The new building and the site improvements on the area of the demolished must be completed per the site plan within how much time to finish that site work?
That's all for that.
Yeah, but the 6 months, you wanna?
Well, it has to be torn down and fixed up within the 6 months.
Yeah, we may have, there's maybe some stuff that we may need to do, like do some completion of the storm system while, because it's so close to that existing building, so there's gonna be some,
If the whole project's 9 months, this is another 6.
maybe, yeah, I wouldn't say, not most.
Don't sweat,
that was
right?
most,
Yeah.
you know,
You need more time?
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll say 6 months. No permanent certificate of occupancy until prior project is completed. Motion to approve
And
the,
also, no signs are approved.
oh yeah,
Applicant has to return to the planning board.
Motion to approve the plan. And with these resolutions, Kathy? Blaze, all in favor? I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
It'll be an exciting project.
Appreciate it.
I
think
I look at this, I mean, it looks subtle changes, but they're really,
You know, and you know, if you've been over there lately, I mean, it's a quagmire. This building, where in the location that it's proposed, is really going to open up that space. I mean, right now it's so cramped up against that, we call it the hotel, the Veteran Center. Being pulled away from where it is right now, it's going to just open that whole area up. I think you'll feel very happy with the outcome of everything, and I can't wait to see the inside of this thing.
it's not gonna be.
It's gonna be spectacular.
I think we forgot to mention though, also the two HVAC units are to be screened by one screen. Same as colors, the siding, the color change to the freezer panel to sandstone to the same material presented. Modify the motion.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Verizon Wireless, concept.
I think
Jared.
give them the
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jared Lusk. It's nice to see you again. And with me, I believe, is Doug Morrison. I think I see his blue sleeve in the corner. Lucky for you, you got the better one and better looking one in person. I appreciate the
Jared,
board and
Jared.
yes.
Did you tell Peter where you're located right now?
Peter, I'm sitting in the fire station #1 in the village of Pittsford.
Yeah, well, I lived at 31 Monroe Avenue, about a block from you.
Yeah, I was telling them before as we were sitting in here, I can point to your family home, and your father and family were instrumental in this firehouse where it is way back when, if you
Yeah.
remember.
I do remember. I remember moving that lawyer's office from the corner back. Anyhow,
Small world.
yes, it is.
So anyway, I'm in an active firehouse. If the firehouse whistle starts blowing, it's not my fault. I am, and I'll go on mute. We are, and I know I think you've had the opportunity to review the application. Verizon Wireless is proposing to co-locate a series of 9 antennas onto the existing Erie Canal Center Plaza building, located at 3469 Erie Boulevard, obviously in the town. The project again is 9 different antennas. There's 3 15-square foot lease areas for the three separate sets of antennas on the roof of the building. I can show you if I can share the screen. Oh, you've disabled screen sharing. Okay.
Get it up, Rick.
You can.
Great.
Am I able to share or are you sharing?
No, you should be able to share it.
You should share.
Okay. All right, I gotta get, I'm not the best at this. Hold on. I gotta go back, screen share. Okay, here we go. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. All right, good. So it's a relatively simple project as I screen down, and I'll zoom in so you can see. As I said, 3 15-square foot rent lease areas on top of the existing plaza building, and then a 9 by 27 square foot concrete concrete platform here, flat on the ground for Verizon Wireless equipment cabinets. There's 2 cabinets, radio and equipment cabinets that go in that area, and they'll be surrounded by an 8-foot wooden fence. So again, the project is relatively simple in terms of the equipment, et cetera, that's going on the roof. There's not much more to the project than that. I don't know if there's specific questions about the site plan itself.
It does look like it's. You said 1 foot. I was trying to pick up what you said dimension wise. I know they're 15 feet tall, but could you?
No, they're not 15 feet tall. There's 15 square feet of lease area. in the on the roof. So that's the area of the lease area. They're not 15 feet tall. Hold on, let me scroll down and you can see as you see here, these are the two equipment cabinets, and this is the utility board related materials, but this is what's in the platform inside what I call the compound, inside the fence compound, so you can see.
That's inside the fence.
Yeah, it's inside the fence. Everything's inside the fence. Again, 8-foot wooden fence. I made it too big for you to get the full context, so there's going to be these 4-foot wide.
Go to that next slide.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you saw that there were gates that were going into that compound. Okay, and let me, if it's hard for me to see if you can see. So we've got the existing rooftop, and the antennas just above the parapet, so that they're not. The antennas are just above the parapet, as you can see.
How far are they?
And how tall are they? You know, I'm not exactly. I want to see if they're on this side of the plan that I'm not seeing. Here they are. So the existing rooftop is 21. The parapet height is 25. The antenna center line is 5 feet above it. The tip is 34. So it sits 9 feet above the existing parapet from the tip of the antenna. And as you can see, the existing storefront is 39.5 feet.
You're gonna have that array that's the front of the building. The other two are, I think, to the back of the building. One is right on the front parapet. And so
There are some photo sims in the package.
the two that you're showing there is at the back of the building, and one of them is in the front of the building, correct?
Correct. Facing in each direction, and then the one on the other end is facing out.
That one that's on the left-hand side is kind of the back corner of the building.
I've got to go back and look at the overhead just so everybody can see, and if that's okay, because I'm going to go back just so you can see. You got the two. Okay, here's Erie Boulevard here. You can see my mouse. These are the opposing ones that we just show you, and then this is the. So this is the back of the building here.
So the two in the back.
See the bumps at the top of the screen, that's the two sidewall parapet elements of the Dix. And the next, we're sitting next to the next bump house, this one down here.
Yeah, I just don't know how I feel about having that thing like right up in front of the building. I mean, right now it's got a nice curve.
I gotta tell you, the design, I mean, what we've done now, it looks
Right.
perfect. What can you do about the front one?
We can talk about that. Obviously I think
You gotta co-locate, it's like 15 feet or 12 feet or something, maybe it could be just co-located on the back.
we got to have it big enough, tall enough to get over the front of the building, right? So it can't face forward from the back of the building. I think, but we can let me look at that and see if there's anything we can do in terms of moving it back or what we can do. Again, if you move it back without raising it, it doesn't get over the front of the building. But we'll raise that with the RF engineer.
Please.
We need to design phased array panels that can color coded to match the building if there's architectural elements. It's a market.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Doug, do you have any insight?
Well, I just, I think we can paint that front array to match the facade of the building.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna solve the issue.
Yeah.
There's just like a big.
I've been taking photographs of that whole facade, we worked really hard to, make it a little different, but still symmetry.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry, you don't have a view of the front elevation of the building with the array, it's like the.
Yeah, I do. Hold on.
Perfect.
I have them. Give me just 1 second.
What?
You see the rendering, the photo renderings?
I didn't see.
Yeah, there's.
Right here. Right next to that other one, so it's like right on the driveway.
Right going down the center.
Am I sharing now?
Yep.
You are, yep,
All right, and I'm.
not moving though.
Well, hold on. I got to move my
To the end.
stuff out of the way so I can see it.
They go sideways.
Then I want to get this bigger for you guys.
No, they need the height to get the.
I agree.
Okay, so this is the front.
I would stop sharing and try resharing because your screen's still on the roof plan.
Oh, hold on. Give me a second. I got to get to it. Stop share. Share screen. Oh boy. Here we go.
You should have some. There you go.
All right, so this is the existing. I'm not trying to move too fast. There you go. There's that. And again, I'm trying to make sure I'm just scrolling through all of them so you can, these are appear to be the back of the store.
There.
Put it on the back.
The other view that they were just showing was where you enter for Starbucks.
I'm not trying to go too fast. I just want you to, I'm trying to get to the Sims. See, there they are there.
You know, you're so far away, but when you're closer, you won't miss it.
I could try to zoom in.
I would get the idea. They just asked to see if that can be moved to the back.
Yeah, that's a fair question, and we'll look at that. I know we're coming back next month. Let's see what we can, if there's any ability to you don't want to see, what you're saying is you don't want to see them right on the front of the store.
No.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean,
Aren't they shown over on the front?
they're on the front left. I think this is a choice view because you're taking it from the Starbucks entry instead of if you were coming right down the main entry drive.
It's right in front of your face.
It's right there in front of you.
I hear you. So we'll go, Doug and I will go back with the design team and see what we can come up with.
Thank you. And if there are any other thoughts or ideas or creativity to screen these, whether it's colors or whatever,
Mesh panel in front. Okay.
I don't know, just be creative if you could, please. We
Okay.
we put so much work into whether it's the Core Life building, even the electric chargers to make this just.
No, I hear you. We've been working together for 15 or 16 years. I hear you. I know where we are.
Jared, have you ever had a chance to locate a survey?
I know Doug, I emailed Doug this afternoon after our conversation. Doug, have you had any luck?
I sent an email to Lauren Flom, who owns the building, asking that question today. I did not get it yet.
I also think we might have one in one of our files. We just wanted existing. Well, whatever the last time frame, maybe Leah can look for that.
No, so that would be when we did the spectrum.
Probably Starbucks.
No, Spectrum was after Starbucks. But
Was it?
yeah, that was they did the out parcel first and then they came back at us with.
And then the EV plugins was after that.
The two.
Maybe that would
Whatever
work.
you do on the front.
If we have it, that would work. I could.
Yeah,
sure.
Why don't we both-
Why don't you stay in touch with this Doug? And Leah to see what we can find.
There must be, there has to be one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll look and with our landlord and you guys look and hopefully we'll come up with something.
Okay, that's really technical thing. Yep, we'll be good for the next meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're set, thank you.
All right, so two things, keep working on the survey and get you a better view from the front.
Yeah.
So, what's our time frame where we need to have that from?
Yes, be on 16th November,
By the 16th?
and you'd be on the workshop on the 28th.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
16th of November. To get them.
That's when you-
Submission, and for
Okay.
anything changes,
Okay,
So we'll try to get that. That's next week, obviously. So we'll try to see if we can get a change. If not, what's the
next one's December, middle of the 14th or something? What's
On the track, I don't know what we.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, and if I don't see you, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
You as well.
Okay. Joanne,
Yes.
you're up.
So.
Concept for the site plan. Yeah, we're here.
Absolutely from EDR, Joanne Gabriel.
Welcome back.
EDR. Thank you. Project architect, Joe Fido. Joe's here, Grazi's online, I believe. So I will, I'll run through the site plan and it'll. So as you may recall, when we first were talking to you about the Canalway Commons development, we had shown this, what we call building 3 in the master plan. At that time, we didn't know a lot about what the tenant was gonna be, what the use was gonna be, the parking requirements. So we had all agreed it was best to take it off, get the Chick-fil-A through and then come back. So this shows building 3 in the same location that we had in the master plan. You can see it's you know there between the sidewalk and the building setback. The building is just under 4,800 square feet. It's a proposed retail use.
52 square feet.
The parking requirements are 1 per 50. If I can zoom in, I guess I can.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And so as you know, we were pretty tight on parking with the original Canalway Commons approval. We had 5 additional spaces surplus from what was required for the 2 other buildings. So in order to meet the requirements for this building, which is 32 spaces, we need, say, 27 across the street. So this parcel across the street is currently by Grazi. There is an existing 1-story cinder block building on the site, and pretty much the rest of the site is paved with asphalt. So what we're proposing to do is locate the 27 additional spaces we need on this parcel.
Yeah, it's in the bottom right.
Right. Oh, gotcha.
Thank you.
So you can see it's a small parcel. As I said, right now, it's pretty much all impervious now, so there's actually a slight reduction in impervious. So what we tried to do is right now, this is all just kind of wide open asphalt all the way along this frontage, these 3 parcels. So we tried to find the 2 entrances to the parking lot with curved islands. Again, there's 30 spaces in here. I think we're only going to need 27, so we may shave a few out of here, depending on what the final building size ends up being. We've got 2 18-foot high light poles that would match the fixtures across the street. All of the drainage, let me go down to plan. All the drainage comes to the middle of the site, gets picked up in these catch basins. We have 5 rows of underground storage pipes and a hydrodynamic separator for water quality, and then it ties out to the existing structure in the street and goes to the north. On the building pad. Jump to planting plan. So. Again, it's just under 4,800 square feet and it's divided into 2 retail tenant spaces. It'll front right on the sidewalk here and the back is up against, this is the building setback line. And then as you see, we've filled in a heavy buffer of planting along the back side of the building with front, I guess, to the drive side. So it's cohesive with the planting for the rest of the site that was previously approved. I think that's basics of the site plan, so.
Any questions?
I can,
One thing. The ADA parking is not located in front of the building. I think it really needs to be. You're showing it remote in the parking.
well, every parking lot has to have ADA spaces by code.
But you don't even have any in front of your building 3.
Yeah, we can have those. Yeah, let's get with that. Yeah,
I guess I'm in terms of the site layout, another question I have, and I'm seeing it for the first time, but there's 2 drive lanes in and out in the parking area.
yes,
And then there's also, so it's directly across from the in and out into the main parking field of this development. It's just separated by the island.
this an island there.
I'm just trying to think about
in and out here, in and out here.
the level of movement, of circulation between 3 drive lanes across this road. How is that gonna really play out?
Could be just a one-way.
Yeah. You know what I'm getting at? There's just a lot of
We could
circulation.
look at that, Doug, we looked into a diagonal parking. We went through the scenarios and we did think about that, but. At the end of the day, this is what was the most efficient, and got us to the number we needed. To do the 90-degree parking. We did even look about closing this off, just having one way in, one way out.
Probably a lot of that.
We thought it got a little bit.
Yeah,
tight in there.
we think that's mostly employee parking is where people are gonna be asked to park. Remember, the total that we have approved for the Chick-fil-A is not the number that Chick-fil-A requires. They are much less, but the town required much more. So we're hoping that we're gonna have parking, more of a shared parking situation where we have a lot more cars. But this would be where everyone asks the employees to park, so that we wouldn't have as much in and out traffic.
But what was wrong with having it one way in and one way out? What's the negative you know?
There's a traffic flow, right? There's a backing in and out
Yeah,
of the spots.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it, but.
How much do you
We can
lose
do it.
with a diagonal?
I don't remember the numbers. I think we were getting around 24, 23, 24. Needed, by the time we're shooting for 30, I think it's 27.
Yeah, it might actually work now.
Yeah,
With the extra.
you don't like that.
People go in the wrong way, then they're trying to pull in the wrong way.
Yeah,
It is
that's a-
I don't know what
that's a
that would
tight lot.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
very.
some
It's
people.
confusing.
I do agree that the staff, your employees are gonna park over there, so.
I mean, you don't have to have 2 entrances and exits, it's just better than people turning around in there.
I think too, a safe passage from that lot to the main parking field would be needed. That would be something crossing the town road, so there needs to be crosswalk, something like that too.
Yeah, you can't put a crosswalk in the middle of, you really need to have it at a corner, but we did put a lot of sidewalks in there so that there's ability, but you couldn't put a crosswalk, but you could put some kind of indication with a sign.
Why can't you put a crosswalk?
Because it's very unsafe, because people expect when they see a crosswalk, it's just a standard that you never put a mid-block crossing in, because people could feel they're in a safe space when they could get run over. So we never, I mean, that's a guideline for all roadways, no mid-block
You don't want one of
crossings.
the crosswalks.
You can put a sign, you know, you see in the villages, things where they literally, you can't, they want people to be able to cross like in Fayetteville, you see the, the standards in the middle, you can do something like that, but not a striped path.
Well, I think I've seen that quite frequently. There are striped and marked crossings there. They have signage.
There's signs that flash when somebody
It has to have a sign, yeah.
I guess that's where I'm going.
Yes,
That's where I'm going with
can't
that.
stamp it without it, I'd have to do something, and I
Yeah.
can't stamp the drawings, it's not allowed. So I'd have to, it would have to
Unless
meet
there's a
those
stop sign.
criteria.
Right.
But I like the signage. I think if the people are gonna get out of their cars, they're gonna walk straight across. They're not gonna go to the corner.
Oh, no, they're not. Again, they're not having customers to park there, but
Well, but I still think the signage, I think you make a valid point, but. What other thoughts?
What about the actual site? The building,
Yes, you gotta talk about buildings.
The obvious questions that are gonna come up for signage.
Well, let's,
One signage facing Bridge Street, but you also probably want them on Sealy.
well, let's just look at the elevations first and see.
So we're proposing, I'm sorry, we'll make this easy. My name is Jill Kyoto, I'm project architect, I'm representing my business and I'm representing the developer here. So what we're proposing is to use the exact same brick as Popeyes is using, the exact same
I mean, Chick-fil-A.
or Chick-fil-A, I'm sorry, Chick-fil-A.
Not here.
We'll start with Chick-fil-A, sorry.
You got a fourth building that we don't know about?
No, sorry. So we're using the exact same brick that was already used there. We're using the exact same metal for the windows that's already there. We'll use in their location, they didn't use any profiled precast for the detailing, and so we're looking at using precast instead. Metal awnings that are pretty simple and clean, and then
So it's the same.
that's about it. I mean, really, it's pretty simple. We're looking for signage on the front facade only, but again, that would be under a different contract. What's shown on our drawings right now is what is allowed by your code, or municipal code, but at least on this facade. I'm not sure what
It's a
the
lot like the
tenants,
Chick-fil-A.
I'm not sure what the tenants would come in looking for, but I mean, at this point, we're just showing what would be allowed based on your local regulations.
So you have two tenants, is that what they're?
Right now, yes.
So how's it divided?
Basically right down the middle,
How is that?
right here.
Should point out that left door is gonna.
Yeah, this door will most likely go away and this awning will then become like the other, these three will read the same. Because this tenant will be entering this one right through this.
There's about 18 inches of grade change across the front of the building. So in order to get the grades to work, we're gonna eliminate that building. So we can keep the
entrance.
finished floor, the same through the whole.
Yeah. Yeah, so the grade change from this side is down 18 on this
drops.
side, but. Hey, I wanted to do it.
Let's get approved.
Pardon?
So. And this is 10 feet of window and then another 2 feet above. Looking sort of a,
Parapet height, how does that relate to Chick-fil-A?
oh geez, I don't know, I'm sorry, it's shorter, I know it's much shorter. Like, I think, yeah, they have, I think they're about 3 feet taller, but don't quote me on it, I didn't spend a lot of time.
Yeah, I just
With
wondered,
their
like, because you guys, you're splitting the drive aisle. You got the two buildings side by side. you know,
Yeah,
how
I think
they're
this is a
gonna-
much more diminutive. As far as the height of it goes, because those arches are huge on that thing.
Is this, as far as your topography from the grade, you'll probably know the answer to this. How much from the Chick-fil-A is this? Go down,
It's close to the,
it's close to the same
Yeah.
elevation as the Chick-fil-A.
yeah, it goes downhill toward the ski company, so that's where it's stepping. So
Okay.
it's very close, just enough to get drainage.
What's Sealy Drive site look like? With a pedestrian walkway,
That's the side towards the
that's the front,
drive aisle entrance and that's the back
that's
side.
the front.
Yeah. And now that I really see it in its context, because I drove by it quickly a couple of times and then I spent some time there. I'm thinking that we need to do something to give it a little bit more value, but I think what I would propose to do is something with articulation of the facade and changing the material. Maybe we get something that's panelized so that we can kind of bring this rhythm of the front around the corner or along the back, but without the openings because the tenants can't use the space.
What if you took the window proportions like you have in the front, and even if it's just a frame, kind of use that.
That's kind of what I'm planning to propose. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning to propose, is to kind of bring that rhythm, but using the panelized insert.
Like a spandrel.
Maybe not spandrel glass, but I was thinking more that we could use like a composite panel with some kind of detailing to it to bring that side across.
The key is in the actual frame, not just brick modulation, because nobody will see that.
No, I'm not looking at, I'm looking at material change. I'm thinking to kind of give that backside and. Really, this was one that it was understood that we would be back a couple of times. It's been a couple of years since I've done work in the town of DeWitt, but.
I think that's a compliment.
It's not a bad thing, it's that I've been working elsewhere, so, this is, I remember the process that it takes some time to get through, so I'm.
Well, it's a concept, so we're.
We're conceptual right now, we're bringing it in front, with the
And that's
idea
an
that.
angle, what degree is that angle coming?
So
off?
that would be someplace that nobody would ever be, quite honestly, because it's standing where the cars would be exiting on the driveway. So it's at that. Yeah, so basically it would be standing at the stop sign, well, basically the crosswalk here, you'd be standing at the crosswalk looking back at it.
It fits.
What is the variety of landscaping that you're showing there on the backside?
It's the same as the entire perimeter of the site, and so it's a combination with evergreen, deciduous shrubs, trees, it's got a sidewalk there and street.
Variations in height.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the exact same palette that wraps.
Natural settings.
But it's a little bit, it was brought, not just natural, we took it to a more, place down with place down, so. It's got kind of that full concept, there's some of the grass, because it's kind of the character of that place now. The wet area that exists out in the right of way, but it's also got some evergreens in it, you're starting to see it now. So it's very dense, it does give you, because we don't want people to actually think that it's, a place to walk in. But, and you will see the building as you approach. I've seen it both sides and,
The building entry facade side, the curb, usually right on that drawing. So
I'll stay here.
yeah. Okay. Those, the pilaster bump outs that are right there, how much does that compress the sidewalk?
Actually. This one, we actually pulled the building back another 2 feet, so it doesn't compress the sidewalk. It won't compress the sidewalk to a point that it's less than what the minimum was before.
Okay.
So next concept, this bump out facade actually is back at the property.
That's a 5 foot sidewalk.
So the 5 foot.
Yeah, it just looked like it got all some really.
Yeah, it got like 2.5 feet, and that's not realistic, but
And it's very close to their different, but they're still.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what it costs. And then this is just my OCD side. But is there a particular reason why that top corner bends twice?
Yes.
because I didn't like the way that it was working when it was just once. It made this, like, for me, it was making some very weird spaces on the interior, and this got some opportunities to have kind of a softer, less harsh kind of connection on that corner. It made that corner a lot less abrasive on this visual side. So that was kind of it was me. It was not the developer who was asking me to maximize square footage, because for me, it just made that corner very hard. And I was, yeah, maybe we could, I mean, that was Italian, so maybe. Whoa. So I'm married to an Italian, I can say this, so.
Make it rounded.
Oh, yeah. Build it round.
Sorry.
No, that's funny. Yeah, I like that.
Maybe it's not funny when you're Italian.
I'm not saying it's true. I think you need to go around the corner and go penetration edge. No, the Italians are. Yeah, I mean, I know you're butting it up against the property line, and we can see that looking at it in plan here on drawings, but I think somebody's gonna look at it.
Yeah, I
in
mean.
reality when it's built.
I think that, when you're looking at it in proximity to the road, I could have brought it out to this corner, and it very easily could have gone there, but I think it's just, for me, I think it was just too harsh. Like that corner where it is. I know it's a great sign location, and my clients would probably love to have it to be able to put signage on that corner, but quite frankly, I just don't see that corner, like for me, it was just too harsh to have it as single, and so, maybe it could go someplace else, but I know it seems arbitrary, but it just seemed like it made sense with the rhythm of the front. If I were to continue those kind of columns and pilasters all the way around, it would make sense as far as the rhythm of that.
It also does, I like that the building has that movement, because it does kind of take you around. I do think that.
Yeah, I think what I'm struggling with is the origin, it's like a short piece and a long piece, like.
It does make sense if you look at it as far as the rhythm of the bays of the other sides, like that corner makes sense to me as far as that rhythm goes. So if you allow me, if you'll indulge me and allow me to do to show the panels on that corner.
Yeah,
I think it'll make
I
a lot
mean,
of sense.
that's the,
Yes.
that's the benefit of
Yes.
this. Session now is that we can kind of have that conversation.
Yeah, and it's appreciated. I appreciate the feedback too.
Mechanical equipment.
Yes.
We want to make sure that we're showing that on elevation.
Yeah, we've engaged engineering, so that won't be a problem by the next appointment. We should be ready to have that equipment on the roof and have appropriate screening for it, so.
Anything else?
Are you sharing, dumpster receptacle locations on the site with existing that's already been? So nothing additional.
We have a separate movie.
I think we should. Right.
Same size.
Yes. We're talking about the window?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're facing this with the old Pier 1 and ski company in terms of the windows and, actually, I don't think that they meet code because there's the signage, there's some signage on that window. And we're gonna be looking at window, treatments in terms of what the tenants plan to do, and we'll cover that in the resolution. But at the same time, we've still got to deal with what's happened at Pier 1 or the ski company.
Which is that they turn the entire thing, or Wegmans for that matter, they turn their entire storefront glass into signage.
Yeah, well, there's certain signage that, there's certain pictures, scenes that we can allow when they put Rossignol in a brand that becomes an advertisement. So they can't do that.
Well, I think there's a whole code section about window signs, right?
Absolutely.
And you know, what's a window sign? And only 25% of the window can be covered with signage. And then it has to be part of your entire square footage signage. So we had noted that everyone drove by the ski company, all of a sudden it's like, oh, did they paint a mural on the side? Like what happened? Then you realize they've covered the windows with, is it signage? Isn't it signage? You know, under our code, but that wasn't the intent. In fact, at the meeting, when that was approved, there was some discussion by the architects, hey, what are you gonna do behind that window, right? And it was kind of dead silence, and, you know, never did we think they were going to cover those windows. So I think that there's going to be a discussion on this about conditions about the window, so there's no confusion.
Well, I appreciate that,
Yeah.
but you know, I mean, your signage code should cover that, right?
It
So,
could, but
so
apparently
wouldn't the
everyone's
approval,
violating it.
wouldn't the approval just say based on the signage code? Because if you make conditions now and your code changes, then it would hold this client to a different standard than everybody else in the community just because of when they got their approvals.
That happens all the time.
I know it does. And that's why I stand in front of planning boards and zoning boards all the time, because we're going for variances for things that don't seem to align with the.
Well, it didn't seem to align with they did it.
Well, I had nothing to do with ski companies, so.
Conversations getting directed, it's more because
We're actually directed towards the
project
ski company.
team here.
Right.
And we wanna have that conversation about the.
I appreciate it, but you know, the second part of the conversation is it a display window? In which case, like, is everything that you can see from the window then part of their advertising and display? Like if they put a wall up 3 feet behind it that has some kind of advertising on it, does that then become signage?
Technically, yes, under our code, yes, if you can see
Okay,
it.
so
it's
like
fine.
those things are all covered, so like theoretically, like if they start putting like mannequins in front of the windows, does that become signage?
No.
No.
No, it does not, but I'm not, we're not going there.
I know, but I'm just saying,
But
like,
but this is an amended site plan,
absolutely.
which includes ski company, so that's not like a separate and distinct.
Oh, no,
Is that
no.
a code? That must be a code violation, that's, that they already got see about, I would guess.
Yes.
Yes,
that's the,
That would come in.
That, but
that's why we're raising it now,
Now.
as part of this like amended site plan, we need to address these issues.
Yeah,
Right now.
but I'm saying it wouldn't be this, you've already approved it, so codes would have to go and get them.
Well, it's unfortunately a little more complicated than that, because we actually have a clean hands provision. So if codes goes and violates them, and they stay in violation. And this is all part of that, like, we don't wanna go there, this is why we're talking about it.
Yeah, so what is it? Is it on it's on the interior or the exterior?
It's a
film, I think on the
that
interior.
appears to be on the
Film
interior.
On the
yeah.
inside?
Not multiple, like every window.
Well, there's a Rossignol,
They put brand names and stuff.
there's a
like that.
brand name
Might-
on it, without the brand name, I think it meets code.
So did somebody contact them or just?
I know that this is, did they get,
Did you know about it?
did they get noticed at all yet? Okay, so this all just happened, so.
Because when I went by, there weren't any signs on it, but I had gone in.
It'd be worthwhile going by again. It's very striking.
Is that on the north side you're talking?
It's on.
It's on the Jiffy,
So they have
Jiffy.
no-
And the other side.
On the Bridge Street side.
What they ended up doing, that was all storage area.
Yeah, no, we knew.
Right, so I don't know, that's why, I think that's why.
So no, and we know why they did it, but that question was asked, well, how were they gonna treat that, and it wasn't really answered. Yeah. So we're, and again,
Isn't the issue, isn't really the question or the issue that if we resolve the question whether it's a sign or not, but it's still a treatment of the building facade that's subject to site plan review.
It really should be.
And so therefore, we can settle the signage question. It still needs to be approved as part of the site plan review, and it wasn't.
that's,
Yeah, so that to me, that's a violation.
Yes.
And the codes would offer them a violation, they have to come back to you, like, that's how it would go normally. If it's on the interior.
But what you would say is, there's being hands,
Yeah.
the violation goes.
It's not, so it's not this applicant, so it's a different applicant.
Say it was all part of the same
But I
site.
mean, I don't think garage would be that, so you would have to, you'd have to bring in a violation, I think, right?
no, I would be with the,
It's a TI, it's under TI, right? So, I don't know. Because you guys didn't do it as part of the development, part of the.
No, I'm just, this is, so it's a project, it's on this site, it's owned by the developer. Now you're coming in for a revised site plan. That's. You know, if it was a separate lot, wasn't part of
So
it,
basically,
it wouldn't be,
it's Grazi's problem to deal with that, you're saying.
yes.
yes,
So
but they
somebody
have
needs to
not,
notify
they need to
them.
be notified, right? So we knew this was coming tonight, so there was a discussion, and this really just came up in the last. Week or so, when everybody was like, what's going
So
on?
if you have to look at the whole thing, because we really,
It's not to be,
No, I
it's just a
understand.
it's a
discussion.
positive thing, no, it's,
It's just that we didn't know, I wish we knew in advance, and we might have had. an answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
it just caught us
Yeah.
off guard in terms of.
Us too.
If you keep moving with your stuff, it's not.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess we've got to take care of. We gotta ask Grazi to take care of whoever he's dealing with. They just have to take it down,
You progress in your job.
and they can just pull it up.
Because the tenant's probably unaware of it. Hey.
I have a client right now that they are building.
No, I think that's,
Not like
the
they're
point is good.
building like wildfire, and they're putting these electronic sunshades up that are basically TV monitors.
Yep.
And they're 3 feet behind the wall and they're calling them furniture. And
No,
You're talking about lens crafters.
no, it's not Lens Crafters, it's a brand that I'm working with that is west of Mississippi.
Oh, there, what is it, what is the one that's, on the corner, is that? Yeah, that's the-
But they're basically doing these, and we fight every time we do.
We would never see that.
Everything we just, we can't do those. You can't, but they're inside the building and they're furniture, I mean, they're basically TVs. I can't, this TV is in front of my windows.
Exactly.
I mean, these people are nice people, but it's just, they're trying to sell their brand, and I get it,
I
but.
think people don't even think about it, because we get it too in their village where they use signs that you can see through. So it doesn't affect the inside, but there's like an image on the outside. They didn't think that was a sign, they thought it was like a sunshade. So I think it's just, people don't realize they're looked at as signs. They don't know. So, yeah.
So to move this on, we'll have codes, Terry will work on the deal on the ski company. And then we need to review that as it relates to, as Doug pointed out, with, the treatment, as we would any other brick or other facade.
Yeah, I guess I have to look at it, there must be something behind it that's not, they don't.
No, that's the back of the house. They pointed out that the front is in the back,
What do you say, all of it?
all of the large windows, well,
So
bridge.
now I have to take some down, is that-
Not necessarily, I just, we need to see how it's gonna be treated, clearly they can't have ads on.
So then we want them to do is they take photographs and send it, make an application to the planning board, say,
Well, I'm gonna let, exact issue and they're gonna have to come back in front of us. But we don't wanna hold this up for that, that's the point.
So you're saying that final approval wouldn't happen until that was resolved? Based on your local.
Yeah, well, it depends on what,
Okay.
And
We won't put any graphics on it.
This would probably be a lot different too, because this is a.
The tax are coming in, it's gonna be pretty clean.
well, but here's my, well, that's great, but we need to, as a planning board body, figure out, because a lot of this happens after the fact. And we're gonna have to address this.
that's why we're bringing it up here, because like all of a sudden we're like, wow, we really got caught off guard, it came up after.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, but you know, you guys, you have purview over, I mean, it sounds like you have purview now over a lot of. Which is fine, and it's wonderful because it means that you can preserve your community, but. The second part of that is, you know, what's stopping somebody from coming in and painting their building lime green in 3 weeks?
Everything. Just ask Davis.
So you have permitting for
Yes,
paint?
yes.
If it's like a change of color.
Interesting, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, I mean, this is a good beginning and, you know, I think you're doing a great job.
Thanks. So next, the submission deadline is the 16th,
Yeah.
the next meeting. I don't think we can meet that, but.
When's the next meeting?
No, the next week's the 30th, but that's
And it's, they're not in the track, not on that track,
Then
it's gonna be December meeting.
December.
Coordinate with Terry, cause you're on, at this point, you're on track A. So he'll give you all the submission deadlines for that one.
There's one meeting in December, though, that'll be in the middle of the month.
Okay.
So there's no second meeting this month?
No, this month, yeah, there's one the 30th of November.
Then deadline's the 16th.
Yeah.
Right, that you can't get on for that meeting.
It's too.
And then the next meeting is in December.
Rob, you got a copy of the schedule, right?
Yes. This one we couldn't do it.
So we've established they're on track A. So you have that schedule with the track A dates on there, and that's what you will follow for your process.
And to the point of your redesign and elements, you could get that to Terry and Doug. And they can submit, you don't have to wait. If you're looking for feedback, we've got.
You guys give back to feedback during this,
Yeah.
okay, that's fantastic. That's different than
Let's catch
the
up
last
with
time.
anything else. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
this or nothing.
Okay, so one of the things that will be changing based on grading is that sidewalk will be sloping down, so we'll kind of have to look at what we do as far as the facade treatment in that area.
This
Yeah, it's gonna
sidewalk
come out
is
of
already
grading.
sloping, yeah,
Yeah, but not in my,
but you had just to break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Parrish has to look at this and give comments, am I right about that?
Yep, for the parking lot.
We did submit the SWIP amendment. Let's look at that. Obviously, we still have to work out the utility connections.
Yeah, are we gonna be delivering any other specific comments, as far as our code review? Doug,
Yeah.
well, that's what we do,
Yeah, no.
okay, you'll do that,
We'll put
okay.
this together, yes.
Something
Yeah, you
together
and
for
Mark.
next week.
Okay,
No, well, Mark will do something and then,
whatever the other aspect of it,
the code
site,
review.
yeah,
I mean, they know the code pretty well, that's what's good, so it looks like they're meeting the setbacks and doing the plantings and everything else.
Because that was pre-reviewed with the master.
Mhm.
So Mark did give us comments on the original master. plan. It's just the parking lot is the only new thing. We showed it, the land that he owned, but we didn't put the parking lot on it originally.
okay. Thank you.
Thanks for the feedback, we appreciate it.
Always good. That's it. Right about. Yes, motion to adjourn. That's my own quick, my word. Second over here. All in favor?
Second, yeah. 9:29.
8:20.
Fix that clock.